Anyways. Alrighty, so we are live. Getting a little bit of a head start here with the SRX Super Show, Episode 4. Welcome, welcome. As always, Elijah Leonard, the host. Wyatt and I recently just recorded the Pit Stop Show about an hour ago, and I just thought that I might as well go ahead and get this show. Might as well just do it now. You know, get it pre-recorded. Well, not pre-recorded, but more so get it live streamed already, so that way, you know, I won't have to immediately just forget about it and then have to do it a half hour later. You know, I don't want to do that. So, Indianapolis Raceway Park, or Lucas Oil Raceway, man. This was our first asphalt race, first paved race since Stafford. Which that one was won by Kobe, one of the locals. But great short track racing at that. But on top of that, Ernie Francis Jr., who has been on the horn ever since race number 1 and just performing really good on dirt. He is your winner. The most recent winner of the SRX Super Series, the SRX Camping World Series. So the finishing results look like this. Let me go ahead and get that loaded up here. Oh, all right, here we go. So it's Ernie Francis Jr., the winner, Bobby Labonte second, Scott Speed third, and then you have Marco Andretti in fourth. Bobby Santos the third, who I believe was one of the locals. He completes the top 5. Then it's Michael Waltrip 6th, Tony Stewart 7th, Paul Tracy 8th, Helio Castroneves 9th, Tony Kanaan completing the top 10, and then it's Willie T. Ribbs and Bill Elliott, unfortunately, rounding out the field in last place. This year has just been very, very tough for Bill Elliott. I mean, like, it just kind of sucks, but at the same time, I mean, you know, in this type of series where you're just racing for fun, you really don't have much to lose. So I don't think it should be too big of a deal. Just my personal opinion. So I mean, with the racing that we've seen over at the IRP, I might as well go ahead and give this thing a good old A-. I mean, it's typical. We've seen your typical short track racing. I think it was. We had a little confrontation on pit road between Scott Speed and Helio Castroneves. That was featured on Behind the Experience. So, I mean, you know, I feel like it was really good racing, really good action. I'd say A- on my end. And I just also found out, I mean, I found this out a couple days ago, and I found this one out today, that at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, the season finale for the SRX Camping World Series, it's going to be father versus son. That's right. Chase Elliott is going to be racing in the final SRX race of the season, and he's going to be racing alongside his father, Bill Elliott, on July 17th next week for the SRX finale. So that will be very interesting as we crown our first ever SRX champion. And then on top of that, Hailie Deegan was added to the list of drivers that will be racing at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. So we've got a lot of names that are going to be there for the final race of the season. So, I mean, lots of big names, obviously. I mean, you got the Elliots that are going to be there, Castroneves, Ernie Francis. I mean, a lot of the drivers that have been racing in all of the races so far. And then you got the All-Stars like Deegan and Elliott. So it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild once we get to Slinger. So, you know, it'll be interesting. And speaking of Slinger, or not Slinger, but Nashville Fairgrounds. But speaking of Slinger, however, let's look ahead to Slinger. Slinger Speedway, I believe, is a 5th of the mile track. Let me go ahead and look this up. Slinger Speedway. Alright, so it is a quarter-mile racetrack. It's a quarter-mile racetrack. So I thought, but it is it's a small place, but you're definitely gonna you're definitely gonna see some really good racing at Slinger. So it's a 33-degree banked track. It's the world's fastest quarter-mile oval, as the track is deemed. It should be very interesting. I mean, I just from the standpoint of it's more short tracks. I mean, obviously you're gonna have a Bristol kind of like racetrack, Bristol / Nashville Fairgrounds kind of like racetrack, but obviously condensed down to a quarter mile, and it's gonna be fast. So these drivers are probably gonna be making about 10 to 12 seconds around the racetrack, and it's gonna be blazing fast. So these drivers are definitely gonna have their hands full once we get to Slinger. And I might as well just go ahead and throw in my predictions here. So the all-star drivers, really. You got Hailie Deegan, who's going to be racing this Saturday night. Also, Greg Biffle's going to be there. And Fenhaus, who I believe was one of the drivers who... Let's see. Yeah, Fenhaus. What's his first name? What is his first name? I don't know. Luke Fenhaus. But Luke Fenhaus is one of the local drivers. What's so cool about this, and I'm actually looking at the first bit of this article that I just pulled up. He won't graduate from high school, from Wausau East High School, I hope I said that right, until next year. But he's gonna have a heck of a what did I do on my summer vacation essay. Man, but no, this is big for him, because he's going to be racing with some of the biggest names in motorsports. Let's go back. I'm going to go back to that. He's going to be racing alongside Hailie Deegan, who is one of the most popular female drivers today, racing against also a racing prodigy in Trans Am with Ernie Francis Jr., a 4-time Indianapolis 500 champion, the all-time record holder of the fastest qualifying speed of 212 miles an hour, and also the 1988 Cup Series champion and 2-time Daytona 500 champion Bill Elliott, Paul Tracy, an IndyCar driver, Tony Stewart, who's basically won everything from dirt to stock cars and all that other jazz, Michael Waltrip, a 2-time Daytona 500 champion, Willie T. Ribbs, the first ever African-American to ever race in NASCAR and also everywhere else, Bobby Labonte, Greg Biffle, Marco Andretti, a current IndyCar driver. So he has surrounded himself with so many big names in this field, you know, and it will be interesting to see how he handles this. Okay, so speaking of, I might as well go ahead and do my predictions right here, right now. My driver to win, he was actually fast the last time that we went to a short track. He's not in this race, but I would have chosen. I'm going to choose Greg Biffle as my driver to win. Driver to stay away from, I'm still going to hand my bill to Paul Tracy. He's not getting the best of worlds here. So I'm saying Paul Tracy, my driver to stay away from. And my dark horse, I want to say Hailie Deegan. Hailie Deegan is going to be my dark horse. I would choose this Fenhaus kid, but at the same time, I mean, like, you never know. Maybe he could actually shock everyone and win and beat the biggest names in motorsports today. So, I mean, it'll be fun to watch. It'll be really fun to watch. I can't wait for this. You know, it'll be fun. But anyways, that's going to do it for this episode of the SRX Super Show. I want to thank you guys a lot for watching. If you like this video, go ahead, give it a like, and if you have not considered subscribing yet, recommend